Give him a purpose, I say. Teach him a skill. Teach him to collect valuables from round and about. Sailors, fresh in port, with coin burning a hole in their pouches. Young men from the west part of the city looking fire in a rough. Lawyers from the temple with their fancy watches. My urchins lighten their load and bring it all to me. And if they get caught and swings at Tyburn, well, it's one less hungry mouth to feed. And there are others to take their place. Fields of business, spokes of trade, and at its centre, the establishment of Sweeney Todd, father of Fleet Street. And now the wheels are moving, another spoke added. It's the war, see, scarce resources, prices through the roof, but every cloud. Soldiers and sailors need comfort before they depart these shores. We can give them that, and on their return, a shave and some more comfort. We can give them that, some surgery to relieve their pain, some urchin to relieve their pockets. But the price of meat, what to do about that? Well, I have a plan. Speculate, accumulate, and waste nothing. Unless I'm mistaken, here's my man.
Mr. Todd, that particular item of craftsmanship you was wanting is complete. And I have an account of £7, 18 shillings, and 9pence a minute.
And what may the 9pence halfpenny be for, Mr. Plunkett?
I'm going to 10-inch nails, Mr. Todd.
Has it occurred to you, sir, some would find 9pence halfpenny excessive for a pound of 10-inch nails?
It has occurred to me that I don't like your manner, Mr. Todd.
This individual annoys me, and it's like his manner of doing business. I believe him to be a rogue and a trickster. I'll settle on £5, Mr. Plunkett. What says you's my fine offer?
I say there are certain parties nearby. Certain legal parties, you might say, taking undue interest in the item in question, Mr. Todd. I have my account and have it settled in full, as I have an aversion to haggling with you in the street.
The fact that he sees it fit to threaten me shows disrespect, calls for a certain chastisement, methinks. Ah, Mr. Plunkett, I have no wish to give you any less than you deserve. So if you'd be so kind as to show me the item in question and demonstrate its value, then I'll have no problem in giving you even more than you have bargained for.
I expected no less from such an outstanding gentleman as yourself, Mr. Todd. If you would follow me, I'm sure you'll be most pleased and most generous.
Generous to a fault, Mr. Plunkett. Was always my way, giving more than one such as yourself had bargained for.
Your Christian spirit does you proud, Mr. Todd. I hope your generous words will match with equally generous deeds.
But that, dear sir, can be certain. Mrs. Bragg, brought the wealth I see.
Yeah, well, Mr. Todd, my bank not to call them so.
A jest, madam. You know I like my fun. I need an apprentice boy who knows to work hard and keep silent.
Not too hard, sir. It's a delicate child who's easily upset.
Call a sewer out when I want, ma'am, but whatever you say otherwise. I cannot a jot if he is delicate or upset. And may I remind you, little services we provide to young girls who have overstuffed their pies, as it were. It's criminal offence for one-way ticket to Tyburn Tree, and I claim, madam.
Highness and lady, I accept a dainty, Mr. Todd, and I'm used to buy it through gentle mercies.
Come, my old friend. Now, you will know that as my apprentice, having me born in logic. Yes, sir. You will learn a first-rate profession. When a man gives you a penny, you can keep it, so one day you get enough of them, you will become a rich man.
Thank you, sir.
But, if you repeat one word of what passes in this shop, or draw any conclusions for anything you see or hear, or fancy you see or hear, I'll cut your throat from ear to ear. Do you understand me?
I wouldn't say a thing, Mr. Todd. It would do, maybe turn to a veal pie at this other shop.
How dare you mention veal pies? What do you suspect?
I don't suspect nothing, sir. I meant no harm in the remark.
Very well. I'm satisfied. Now, mark me. The shop and the shop only is your place.
Sir?
Good lad. We'll make use of you, I'm sure. Now, I have some business to attend to with this gentleman, so run along. Figures of some Dunston's about to strike. The exhibition will excite your curiosity.
But, sir, I've seen the biggest strike on many an occasion.
Get out, I tell you! Get out!
It is a godly thing you do, Mr. Todd, taking the poor, unfortunate wretch to your apprentice.
No more than my Christian duty, sir. Now, about the item in question. I am desiring to see the fruits
Here she is, Mr. Todd. Here she is.
Truly is a thing of beauty, sir. And the device we discussed?
Leave her on the back. Notice by remembering yourself.
Excellent. Mr. Plunkett, you are a credit to your trade, and I'll have no problem in settling your accounts with the court.
Most generous, Mr. Todd.
Indeed, I believe I said I would give you more than you had bargained for.
I believe I did hear that phrase pass your lips.
Be seated, Mr. Plunkett. I will give you the closest of shaves, free of charge, while you're all smooth and powdered, perhaps the pie of your choice, and Mrs. Lovett's would indicate the depth of my satisfaction.
You're too kind, Mr. Todd. But there is one pie I'm anxious to taste.
Be seated, Mr. Plunkett.
I'm not one to boast, Mr. Todd. This is perhaps the most comfortable chair I've sat on.
Oh, it is much more than that, I can assure you.
What do you mean?
Why? Only this is the last chair you've ever sat on. As I said, sir, 9 pence halfpenny was excessive for a pound of 10-inch nails. And as for Mrs. Lovett's pies, I'm feeling you'll become much better acquainted with them than you'd ever expected. My razors and my surgeon skills are all I need. The price of meat had just come crashing down. How the ingenious can prosper in times of hardship if they have a good sense of business. Ah, Tobias, you're back. How are the figures on the clock?
They mark the time, sir, as they always do.
Excellent. Time for change. Change most desperately, Tobias. I'm going out. I have some cutting business to attend to. Business of the most meaty nature. Make sure the shop is tidy upon my return.
So
those days I filled thy hungry eyes even to lay wink with fullness. Tomorrow see again, and do not kill the spirit of love with a perpetual dullness. Let this sad interim like the ocean be, which parts the shore, where two contracted new come daily to the banks, that, when they see the return of love, more blessed may be the view, else call it winter, which, being full of care, makes summer's welcome thrice more wished, more rare. Ah, me.
What is it, child?
It is my heart that beats in hope for that summer's welcome.
And your mind that seems full of care.
I am sorry, Father.
Are you sickening, child? What is it that troubles you?
It is not that I am troubled, Father. It is expectation and hope that excites me today, and distracts me from my duty.
Then in truth I should feel relieved that nothing ails you. And yet my mind is troubled, for such excitement is not within your nature. Why, I have not seen you this distracted for many a year. Tell me, what is it that so exercises your emotions on this day?
I fear my thoughts will upset you.
Joanna, I'm already experiencing emotions I can only describe as upsetting to see you in this agitated state. But tell me the cause of these feelings.
As I know you love me, I will confess all the things, Father. I have today received certain information. Information that leads me to believe that all I have dreamed is about to become reality. I've heard that a certain ship has arrived in the port, and my heart leads me to believe that this is the ship that holds all my future hopes and dreams. In short, he who I love even more than your dear self might soon be returned to me.
He who you love, I hope you don't mean.
Oh, hush, Father, hush. I know the name that is hovering on your lips, and it hovers on mine also. But I do not wish to give substance to that name until I see the substance of he who owns it standing in front of me.
Mark Ingersoll.
How my heart skips to hear that name, and I hope that this very day I shall be able to welcome you into my life again.
Joanna, it is the sad duty of a father to remind you of the time just 2 years since when that same man brought you to the very depths of despair for his uncaring nature. I would not have you revisit that slough of despond by holding up any hopes of a fruitful harvest with this wasted individual.
Oh, most dear Father of mine, few but knew the reality of fatherland. It is true that when Mark left 2 years ago, I sank into the pits of despair.
And I've strived without end to raise you from those pits ever since.
Truly you have, dear sir. But you must know the truth of this dear maiden's heart.
How can a young maiden such as yourself truly know her own heart, when the desires of a man have already led her into a pit of despair?
Few but knew the truth. Martin yesterday was betrothed to me in spirit as I was to him. His guardian, Mr. Grant, desired him to follow a career in the law.
A noble profession.
But not the one his heart desired. His heart was set on me as mine was on his. And that was the cause of his departure.
A strange way of plighting his straw.
Hear me, sir! Dear Master and Geoffrey promised me he would take a position on a ship and prove his worth both as a man and as a suitor. That he would return renowned character and resourceful in means, as would befit the potential husband of a respectable young lady such as myself. He would return as a man that all would embrace and fit him to embrace me, or he would not return at all. And I have had news that fair winds have transported him from far climes back to the beautiful part of London. You'll perhaps understand why my heart leaps at the prospect of a future life, sealed with an honoured promise from an honourable man.
All the love I bear you, sweet child, I will not deny you the deep feelings that reside in your heart, to have countenance you against the passion of youth that has yet been made clear. I do not trust either the intentions of this man or the likelihood of his ability to make them a reality. And I would not have one so dear to me placed all her aspirations in such a weak vessel. All I desire for you is the love and admiration of a strong nobleman.
And such a man, such a strong man, such a nobleman. Oh, Mr. Oakwood, you could learn from such a man.
Madam, do we walk on the same path? Of whom do you speak?
Why, the dear Reverend Lupin, of course.
Of course.
Child, what is this? You look pale. I must speak of you to the Reverend Lupin.
Lupin might be all very well as a parson, but I fail to see what you can possibly have to do with Joanna looking pale.
I to do with everything and everybody.
Then he must be the most intolerable bore in existence. And I do not wonder to have been thrown out of various houses as I go tell.
Saint man glories in such treatment. Dr. Leapin likes to suffer for his faith, and would take great pleasure if he were permitted one.
It would give me the greater pleasure.
Holy man, wishing to murder the Lamb of righteousness for the count of his holiness, you will not say so much to the Lamb of peace when he comes to tea as promised.
To tea? I mean, I've said over and over again, Mrs. O, that I won't have that man in the house.
And I have told you twice on a number of occasions that he shall come to you. I have asked him. He has graciously accepted, and it cannot be changed. Joanna, I feel my own complaint coming on. I feel my heart beating, caused in truth by your father's brutality. I shall retire and compose my nerves with a little cherry brandy.
It gratifies me to know that your dear mother still has a heart, though I fear it beats more for that purveyor of hypocritical cant, that peddler of deceit, that spittoon of sinfulness than it does for me.
Oh, Father, I am sure.
As am I, my dear. And I'm sure of this also. In comparison to Dr. Lupin, my industry, whatever his faults, would appear as a beacon of innocence. If, as we say, he has returned with both honorable intentions and the means to support them, then I will not stand in the way of your rebuke. Rather, I will bless it with all my heart. The devil take that parsimonious path.
Oh, Father, dear, dear Father. If you don't bring coin into my shop.
My mother's in Newgate, and I don't know my mother.
Mother worked for me, she might still be free.
Please, lady, my father swears to use the most unnatural ways.
One that needs no training. Now, my lovely young things. Business is booming, and I'm in need of extra help in the making of my pies. The hours are long, and the ovens are hot, but I will not tolerate willful or lazy girls who fail in their duty to their kind employer. Makes the pies and you bakes the pies. You live in the cellar and do not leave it without my express agreement. And you do any other jobs that I might require of you. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. But if we find a different employee, can we leave when we want?
If you want to leave my employment, all you need to do is speak to me. Mrs. Lovett and her business partner, certainly Mr. Todd, we'll do all we can to find a suitable ending to your time.
Thanks, ma'am.
My little lambs, you are indeed most fortunate to be taken in by this most kindly of God's creatures. I am not one to come to sin, but I must tell you, I often frequent this establishment and have at times felt sinners must be when I hold all the pies before me. I praise the Lord, I mean, partaking your pies your way. Further to work as love it, I have business of my own to attend to.
Souls to save, kind sir.
So many souls to save, so little time. Our eternity.
Your favourite pie?
Dear angel, you know how I like my pie.
Oh, yes. I know full well. And how fond you are of fresh, succulent, meaty old hypocrite. But your money is as good as any man's. And a man with a reputation in society is often prepared to pay well for his pleasure. And what are you all gawking at as well that he's doing?
Fresh pies, Mrs. Ale?
Right, girls. Bring the customers in.
Pies from the oven, pies piping hot, meaty and juicy, come quick by the lot. Pies from the oven, pies piping hot, meaty and juicy, come quick by the lot. Pies from the oven, pies piping hot, meaty and juicy, come quick by the lot. Pies from the oven, pies piping hot, meaty and juicy, come quick by the lot.
What an infernal noise these people make. Surely something quite out of the ordinary must have occurred so agitating these good folk.
Most likely a hanging. Nothing like a good hanging to stir the bloodlust of the rabble.
I'll never comprehend why God-fearing folk embrace the demise of a fellow human being with such relish. Surely we should pity such wretches and prepare for the drop that will bring them to eternal life.
You are too delicate, Mr. Industry, sir. It's a fine sport to see him. Some slackers are placed in the crowd like an actor in the theatre. Others are silent or praying. Others cry their innocence enough to be dragged to their doom, and in the end it's always the same. Loud, quiet, rich or poor, down they drops and foul themselves as the neck breaks and their bodies lose control. That's the biggest cheer, when the scum of the earth shit their breeches and die in the stench of their own foul deeds. There's always the hope that the head physician misjudged the length of the hood, and the head comes clean off.
And we like to think of ourselves as civilized. Why? Mr. Jeffrey, we've voyaged halfway around the world and seen so many different things. And yet I fear even the most savage of creatures we encounter, those that never heard of God's blessings, did not behave in such a foul manner. It troubles me to think that 2 years before I left my dear Joanna was sexed to humanity. But had I seen it as I see it now, I should have moved from heaven and earth to take her away from some calamity.
Here, Governor, you just gonna stand there in the way? There's all this smoking, need to get to love it before all the fresh ones go.
What's that, boy? Fresh what?
Why, pies, of course. You gents never heard of Lovett Pie.
The fame of a Lovett's pie failed to reach us on our long journeys across tropical oceans. Mr. Jeffrey, I think you spent too long before the mast if you failed to tell the difference between the sweet aroma of fresh baked pie and the soiled clothes of some wretch swinging from a gibbet.
Long journeys, you from above.
2 years under sail, boy, seeking the treasures of the Orient. My fine friend here is on his way to see his true love after 2 years at sea, if she'll have him. Most likely married to some country squire with a brood of little squires. Serve him right.
Not Joanna. She'll be waiting for me as untouched as when I left, and when she sees the riches that I've brought, our future life will be secured.
I have a few riches of my own that I wish to deposit in some young lady's care.
Abraham Jeffrey, you sully the reputation of the fairer sex.
I doubt whether you would call some of my acquaintances as the fairer sex. Why, even this unkept young lad will conduct. You demon brat! You miserable cur! I'll see you swim for the gallows, you son of a pog criminal! I call this your gallows pay with his hands in your pockets! Raise the your dry son, magistrate! Call the runners! I have a thief here! Thief! Rouse the court!
There I am, finished off the customer with a hue and cry goes up. Completely spoiling my last moments with him. Faith, how he wriggled. With a man's razor in his hands, like I didn't cut his bleeding throat!
So what did happen then?
Nothing. He just dived right out of the chair. I doubt we've seen him again. Now what's the fuss?
I caught this young worm-page with his hands in my companion's pockets. Where is the law in these parts? Don't you care about decent, respectable people?
Fine, sir. Let's not be too hasty. Damn!
Here's the cup purse. Grab it, boys.
Oh, there, what's you?
Ha! You don't see much.
I see you won't be satisfied with this tonight. Back to my question.
I caught this young sneak thief with a slippery hand in my companion's pocket.
Have you got to find that?
Yes, sir.
Don't these lips slippery heels, these dead presents?
The young ones would work if I had married and is like to be stranded at birth. Save the cost of a hangman there.
To respectable society of favour and condemn their foul ones out of the world, and save us the trouble of condemning them, and before they can breathe more the same.
Before the court with him, and one of them swinging before you can say, mercy on this, wrong.
Your words do you credit, sir.
Who's this? A witch. I recognize the voice. Sweeney Todd the barber.
Best shit in London.
After the pleasure of the sun left on my face is smooth and virgin free.
And various establishments have satisfied me on more than one occasion.
You were saying, sir?
Well, I was about to say it's of late this place has been a veritable den of iniquity. Thieving, whoring, unnatural disappearances. It's only for your diligent efforts that respectable businessmen such as myself can continue to prosper.
And your point, Mr. Todd?
Well, I was in full agreement with your judgment that young thieves need to feel the ropes tightening around their necks. But I would go further, Millard.
Millard, we're not in the court yet. Todd?
No, Millard, but it was just my thinking. Perhaps this area needs to help you in your work. Take on a responsibility for itself. Leave the wretched us and do the necessary to make sure we get the message across.
Kind of, Mr. Todd. Much be admired from models such as yourself. But I fear you're one of a kind and will not be spoken of foul scum that's around you.
Yes, best to let the law take its course. Now let's break the next piece of foul brigands.
The young ones do break so cleanly, though. Don't you know, I might be blind, but I do love the sound of the tail's neck snapping on the rope.
Good sir.
Who's this?
The victim, sir?
Good one to you, sir. The full weight of the law, taking the news.
On the contrary, sir, I've had nothing stolen. My good companion thought the lad might be about to relieve me of my goods, but as nothing has been taken, surely no crime has been committed. I fear my friend has been overzealous in his accusation.
Do I know you, sir? Your voice is familiar.
I think not. I have arrived in London today.
His class and queer. I never forget the voice. No thanks, you say?
None, sir.
Damnation, let the boy go. Todd, give him a good idea to remind him of how close he came to destruction. And boy,
Sir?
if I ever come across you again, I will not be so merciful. Take me away.
I thank you, sir, for saving the life of this unfortunate wretch. He's my trusted apprentice since the trade of faith I put in. Believe me, he will be well chastised.
That will suffice.
You're a damn fool! This lad will have robbed you of all you possess!
Gentlemen such as yourself must take care of his possessions. You have business in these parts, sir?
He's obviously true enough. Many thanks, sir. Be on your way. Mustn't keep you from it.
Shut
2 years at sea.
And looking the part. No offense, sir, but perhaps a shave may the occasion a smoother happening. As it just so happens, I own the barber shop yonder, and it would be my privilege and duty to provide you with the closest to shave.
I'm sorry.
If not for you, then for the lady, and not a penny asked.
And, kind sir, if I could tempt you with a fresh, hot pie?
When I consider running a riot when the pies were produced, I would consider it as an honor, madam, to sample your wares.
Spoken like a true man. Come with me and we'll do our best to satisfy your needs.
And you with me. You, boy, fetch me more soap.
There's no need to. Ow! Yes,
Do as I say, boy. Don't rush. More haste, less speed.
Stupid child! Did they teach you nothing in the orphanage? Dr. Lupin is a most particular reverend gentleman, and although he is too imbued with the spirit of the Lord to criticize those who fall by the wayside, I would not be just as slovenly and unworthy because some low-born wretch has placed the cake stand before the teapot. Do your job, girl. It's ready in the streets for you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, Mr. O. Surely this is a day of great enlightenment. To be honoured by the presence of Dr. Lupin himself. Why, I believe Mr. Beale is in great importance as the last supper in the good book.
Methinks we should hope for a similar conclusion.
Oh, Father.
Well, if not the final denouement on Calvary Hill, then perhaps at least the satisfaction of administering 39 lackeys to the wreck.
I should have the misfortune to be married to such a blasphemer who prepared to damn his eternal soul for envy of a true saint.
And that I should have the misfortune to be married to a woman who cannot see that the devil takes on many disguises, and who has opened her heart to the great deceiver.
I will break bread with this pillar of the church and will not waver from my mission. Your words have a stench of sulphur, as they do, from the bowels of hell.
Do as you wish, madam. I will take no part in this foul charade. You can have your cake and eat it.
And good riddance to such a weak and unworthy soul. Joanne, pray, go change your note and Mr.
Dearest Mamma, I had not thought to be present when you and the parson discussed your holy matters. Surely you would like to save your soul free from the attention of others.
Nonsense, child. This is a sweet and unselfish thought. How could I reserve salvation for myself? In certain truth, I hope you thought being worthy of one of the Lord's chosen, and must also hope that those close to me, with the exception of your miserable sire, are worthy. But I would hear no objection to a change. I suggest a green dress. Low, right? Dr. Lupin has told me on several occasions that he appreciates the decolletage and the female species for a child who is prepared to bear herself to the Lord. Quick, child, do as I ask.
The reverend gentleman, ma'am.
Dear lady had no BYT trying to remove the temptation of drink by taking away the source, but it was our dear Lord who changed water to wine, so it will be right to share the divine liquid.
Oh, dear sir.
I've always found generosity to be a most noble thing, madam. Be generous with the poor and force me to resist the temptation of greed.
Dr. Lupin, the spirit of goodness fills the world when you are near. Surely all the foul creatures of the underworld must feel fear from such a presence.
Alas, the forces of evil run deep and strong in this world. I would that everyone at Kimmer Cost was as open as the Lord is here.
I hope it's not make me forward, sir. But if you would like to be intimate, I'd be honoured if you'd address me by my Christian name. I was baptized with the name Chastity.
A wondrous name, chastity. The word rolls off my lips and stirs me in so many ways. To show we're one before the Lord, I must ask you to address me in the same manner. I'm named after the saint of Assisi.
Francis.
Chastity,
Oh, I'm Francis.
to be certain. And might I say how wonderful you look tonight, so warm, so comfortable, so fleshy. I'm sure if I put my hand upon your breast, I would feel the beating of a true believer's heart.
It is my greatest wish to be blessed in such a direct way by a man of God. Let me be the vessel that receives the Holy Spirit through the hands and body of his servant such as yourself.
Come, child, feel the love of the Lord.
Joanna, kind, reverend gentleman was about to fill me with the blessings of his noble office.
And who is this wondrous creature?
It's my only child, Joanna.
It proves to me the Almighty's great design, when loins of such a noble creature as yourself produce such delectable innocence. Child, I'm entranced by her beauty, would lay hands upon you so you can receive my blessing.
Come and kneel, Joanna, and let the goodness of this man flow into your very soul.
I will not see your mother, and I will not have this foul man lay hands upon me. I will, however, return to my chamber and not unlock the door until this house is free from his corruption.
Kind Sir Francis, I know what to say. I urge you not to deny me a blessing by tainting you with willfulness of a child.
Dear Mrs. Oakley, I fear the spirit of the fire has been quenched by the treatment I've just received. But fear not. I'm not a man to run from such a challenge as posed by my daughter. I would see it as my duty to attend to her on many occasions and attempt to fill her with goodness.
You do kind, sir. The young need constant leading you through life. If you were to be her shepherd, I would be honored.
I will lead her with a firm hand, chastising where needed, being gentle when deserved. She'll come around to our way of thinking, my friend. You have my word on that.
You have the spirit of an angel and I thirst for your blessing.
Another drink, maybe, and the full force of my blessing shall come on to you.
Tell your head look to one side, sir. That'll do. So, been to sea, sir?
These 2 years since, I have just come upriver today from an Indian voyage.
No doubt you have some treasures on your person. Thinking it was my apprentice that took a shine to you. There's many another in this area that would slit your throat first and look for silver after. They say more innocent men go disappearing in this area than any other in London. 1 minute they're there, the next, vanished, leaving not a trace.
Then I am truly grateful to have found an oasis of honesty in such a corrupt world.
You're off to see your beloved. Surely a gentleman such as yourself is not true love in this area.
Hereby, I am suited to Joanna Oakley, daughter of Jasper Oakley, a spectacle maker,
I know the man. The most respectable person.
with the most virtuous daughter.
I envy the man. There's precious few virtuous daughters around here. Girls around here balance their morals against the weight of the coin. It's the fate of the poor to sell whatever people will buy. I sell my skills as a barber. Others is less fortunate. I hope your intended is never so in want that she thinks what it is she can sell.
Joanna will want for nothing. My voyage was to prove my worth as a man, and to return with riches enough to establish us in respectable society for life. Why, if people knew the treasure I had about my person, my life would truly be at risk.
Treasure, you say?
Between you and me, as I know I can trust you, I carry a casket containing a string of pearls, a gift from my beloved to seal our betrothal, and a deposit on the value of my life.
Pearls? Fake or real?
The real thing, their worth is 12,000 crowns.
If I may be so bold, sir, never in my whole life have I beheld a thing of such worth. Could I perhaps see the item of which you speak?
An honest man like yourself, there can be no harm in it. Here.
Yes, sir. Thing of beauty. Why, if your intended is beautiful as these jewels, then she is a treasure indeed. And if not, then surely these jewels will make her appear so.
The jewels are outshone by the beauty she possesses.
May I, just for a second, touch the wondrous thing?
I hope you didn't intend to rob me, sir.
Sir, where would I run? You know my name, my face, where I work. I'm not a faceless highwayman. I am Sweeney Todd. Why? If I were to rob you, I'd have to kill you first to silence your tongue.
Well, Mr. Todd, I doubt you would kill me in your own shop. You may touch the jewels.
Yes, sir. Thing of beauty, 12,000 crowns.
As I said.
And as I said, if I were to rob you, I'd have to kill you first. Ah, yes. A string of pearls. When I was a boy, the thirst of avarice was first awoken in me with the gift of a farthing. That farthing soon became a pound, that pound 100, that 100,000. Todd, I told myself, one day you will be a rich man. These pearls will prove my words. Who goes there? Speak! Speak, your last hour has come!
Has the gentleman left so soon?
Inspire me, Harriet. What do you see? Tell me, or cut out the tongues, can't tell nothing to no one.
I never saw nothing. I just come back with the soap you wanted.
Then why was you asking about the gentleman?
Well, I never saw him on the street.
He was anxious to be gone to his love. Hardly let him shave at all before he ducked out and was gone. Now, Tobias, I want you to take a message to the gentleman's companion. Tell him that his friend has left to call upon Miss Joanna Oakley. Got that? Tell him nothing more and nothing less.
Is it not odd that he should have gone without his hat?
Don't ask questions, boy. Do as I tell you. Or may I remind you that I have information about your dear mother that will put a rough collar around her neck. Now get out! Oh, Todd. 12,000 pounds and some gentrified pie to boot. It's your lucky day.
The fiend! To attempt to murder me in broad daylight. And would have succeeded too if not for cruel fate. The fall into the cellar would have killed any man, no matter how strong. And yet I fear I'm not the first victim of this monster. For my fall was broken by landing on the body of the poor wretch who preceded me to his doom. I cannot but thank the good Lord that the unfortunate soul was well fed and softened the blow. But I'm injured and sore. I must find an escape, so I can find restoration at the hands of my love. But I hear someone approach. I must make myself invisible.
Damnation to hell! Where is the man? Survived the fall, did ya? What little good it'll do ya. There's no way out of the cellar except through 2 doors. One to my shop, one to the cellar and the pie shop next door. Both doors are locked and I has the keys! There's no food or water to sustain ya, just the smell of baking pies to make your hunger worse. So you can rot in here, wishing that the fall had killed you quickly. Now as you slowly rot, you can dream of your beloved, not knowing whether you live or die. You can think of your precious pearls on someone else's neck!
Oh, cruel fate! Lord, have mercy. If not on me, then on my love, on Joanna. Protect her from all harm and embrace her in your tender care. Oh, Joanna, know that in your dreams I love you to the death. And may that death or freedom come to me soon.
Corruption has this deep the streets.
Mr. Well, there's a gentleman here to see you, miss. What's that you said, Lisbeth? A gentleman, miss. Quite nice. It's not proper if you ask me. Well, no one did ask you, Lisbeth, so hold your tongue. Well, a gentleman, you say? Yes, miss. Oh, Mark! You have returned to me! My darkness is lit and my light shines with the light of your love. Don't know about no Mark, miss. Says his name's Abraham. Abraham Jeffrey. Show him in, Lisbeth. And you're all alone, miss? Now, Lisbeth, show him in. Oh, Mark, even if it is not you, it is some messenger come to bring tidings of him that I love. Mr. Jeffrey, miss. Thank you, Lisbeth.
I have the honour of speaking to Miss Joanna Oakley.
Yes, and John Montague Street's messenger.
I am. Abraham Jeffrey, at your service, miss.
Sir, you look so sad and serious. You seem about to announce some sudden misfortune. Oh, tell me if it is not so. Speak again, and oh, my heart will break.
Dear lady, let me pray to subdue this passion of grief, and listen with care to what I shall unfold. There is much to hear, much to speculate upon, and from what I know, I cannot, dare not, tell you that Mark Industry lives. Likewise, I cannot swear to you that he is no more.
But there is hope, sir. Speak again, is there hope?
There is hope, but it is better that your mind should first receive the shock of the probability of the death of your mother, rather than expect too much and have those expectations destroyed.
That is kind of you, and if I cannot thank you as I ought, please know it is because I'm in a state of too great affliction to do so.
Dear lady, know that I spent 2 years before the mask of your lover, and in that time he informed me of the quarrel with your father and his guardian that led him to embark on that adventure in foreign seas.
Alas, it was on my account that he sacrificed himself. That is my guilt.
Good fortune attended that enterprise, and Mark Industry, among others, returned to his native shores 2 days since, a wealthy and prosperous merchant. On our voyage home, he showed me a string of pearls for the purpose of presenting them to you.
Alas, he never came.
That was my fear. I last sighted him in Fleet Street. He entered a barber's shop to make himself suitable to be received by a young lady, yourself. When I could not find him, I believed that the depths of his passion brought him here post-haste, leaving his companion behind. But that he did not appear to me last night has given me great cause for concern regarding his safety. He was in possession of the pearls, and Fleet Street harbors wretches of the most murderous intent.
My head spins, my heart is about to burst. I want to shout that Mark is alive and that he has returned to me. But I feel that the cruel fates have cut him short, and he was within reach of my arms. I thank you, kind sir, for your news, but can find nothing but terror therein.
It is a mystery, miss, and sort of character that gives me great cause for concern. I cling to some hope. The others to embrace despair and give them up for dead.
Miss? What is it, Lisbeth? Your lady mother and the reverend gentleman she consorts with. Lupin! Here now. Oh, I cannot stand it!
Dear lady, what distresses you so?
The kind reverend gentleman is not reverential to the fairer sex. I would not have him lay hands upon me.
But your lady mother?
Is under some enchantment and follows him like a dog.
I shall hide here, behind this curtain, and ensure that no harm befalls you.
Lord help us. You may go, Roberts.
The Lord truly works in mysterious ways. Dr. Lupin has made a proposal to me that I can hardly countenance, one that fills my soul with such joy that I can fall at his feet and shout praises for his sacrifice.
Why, mother? What has he done?
Dear child, I am the chosen vessel for the saving of souls.
Dr. Lupin, I do not wish to hear this at the present time. If you would grant me a few crowns from this.
Thou art disrespectful, but I will not snub thee, virgin. Thou dost not know the honour that's intended.
What do you mean?
Thy mother has decided that I should take you, save your soul, as a wedded wife.
Have you been drinking, sir?
I never drink, save what the soul lacks in faith. 'Tis an ungodly practice. Thou wilt surely become bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh.
She is not worthy of me, dear Dr. Lupin. She does not deserve such an honor.
We do not get what we deserve in this world, mother, as you should be well aware. I am quite happy to be disappointed in this instance.
Let me offer you some spiritual consolation.
Dr. Lupin, you are raging drunk.
It's the fire of love that rages, consuming my very vitals. Peradventure I may extinguish the flame of those ruby lips,
shall retrace my steps to Fleet Street, and shall not rest until I hear news. Be it good or ill, that determines what has been his fate.
I thank you kindly, sir, for all the trouble you have taken for us. Farewell! Oh, Mark, I feel my strength beginning to fail me. I hope my love can sustain you wherever you are, and I pray that you live, so your love can sustain me.
Where
Mr. Todd, is the lady what we said was fetch?
The lady, can I introduce your tall quiet? Here, take a penny and get yourself a pie from Mrs. Lawrence. This very young rag, you'll live to be a rich man.
I hope someday to be as rich as you, Mr. Todd.
Oh, it'll be a long time yet before that happens. So get up! Ah, Lady Celsol. Good evening to you, milady.
Good evening to Mr. Todd. Pray tell me, what is so important that a respectable lady should be dragged from a hearth at this hour of the night and made to face the dangers of the slum street?
You may be gentry, Lady Celsol. You know as well as I that no one would dare lay a finger on you. The services that you provide to persons in this parish will shield you from any harm.
That's maybe, Mr. Todd. But, unless I am mistaken, we have an arrangement. Once every month, you show the goods that you accumulated to my agent. Goods that are of what could be called an incriminating nature. And if a mutually acceptable price can be agreed, then those goods are taken away from your premises, where their presence, if discovered, might constitute a fast trip to the Old Bailey and put back on the open market for the benefit of all. Unless I am much mistaken, however, there is nothing in our arrangement that would suggest I am under obligation to follow some street action through the streets at the dead of night.
I have something that a kind lady such as yourself might be interested in.
It's best be something very special, Mr. Todd. It would go ill with you if I had been dragged out on a fool's errand.
I believe the rides to show you will prove anything but foolish. Why? I believe that by reputation and by looking at your adornment, you would have more than a passing interest in precious stones.
What stones would you be talking about, Mr. Todd?
I would be talking about pearls, milady.
There aren't many pearls in the market at present.
Then it's a good time to sell them. I'll save all my diamonds and rubies until the market improves.
Do not suggest me, Mr. Todd. I'm far too superior for your low-born humour, and I wish to be at home with my supper.
Perhaps, Lady Celsol, this will improve your mood.
Real? By heaven! Oh, real!
I know they are real. I hope your journey is looking more fruitful. Will you deal with me or not?
Oh dear, Mr. Todd. On closer inspection, I'm afraid they are not real after all. They are counterfeits, but so well done that they deceive on first inspection. For the curiosity of the item and the skill of the deception, I will offer you £50 for them.
£50? Who's joking now? Not deal you choose to insult me, madam.
No insult was intended. I'll offer you 100.
Hark you to me, missus. It's not suit my time or my inclination to be haggling with you. I know the pearls be true and their true value. 12,000 crowns is their worth. And I will sell them to you at a price that both satisfies me and will make a handsome profit for yourself.
You impress me with your knowledge, Mr. Todd. Since you know more than I gave you credit for, and this is to be a downright business transaction, I think I can find a customer who will pay 11,000 for them. If so, I have no objection, but to advance the sum to 8,000.
I'm content with the offer. Let me have the money early tomorrow.
Let's wait just 1 minute. There are some rather important things to consider. You must know that a string of pearls is not to be bought like a few ounces of old silver or pickpocket watches. The vendor must convince the buyer as to how he came by the item.
This woman is great on my nerves. Pshaw, my lady, who will question you, a lady of repute and the owner of so many precious stones, and known in this element of society to be in the trade, as it were?
That's all very fine, sir, but I fail to see why I should give you the full value of the item without evidence to prove your title to it.
Or in other words, you don't care how I came about the item, provided I sell it to you at a feast price. But if on the contrary I want the full value, you mean to be particular.
You have no right to this item, Mr. Todd. You and I both know you came by them by nefarious means. You may then accept 2,000 or explain your ownership of them to the magistrate.
Damn you! Working men like me takes all the risks and the gentry takes all the profits.
Isn't that the way of the world, sir? Know your station and do not argue with me.
If you were from around around here. A working man like myself, I'd slit your throat, you hellhound!
But I'm not from around here, Mr. Todd, nor of your class. So, what do you intend to do?
Slit your throat, you bitch! Well, is that not a thing? The blue bloods of red blood the same as the common man. Do not fear, miss. Follow instructions to love it. Tell her girl to take extra care of you. A special range of pies, we'll call them the upper crust. Ha ha!
I don't know what I'd do out of pies, Mrs. L. Some pies will keep me from starving to death.
So Mr. Todd's providing you victuals then?
Not him. Never seen him eat at the shop. Always goes out somewhere.
Well, it's not here, it comes to eat.
Can't remember him seeing him here.
It comes sometimes, but more in a matter of business than for a pie. I'll have a word with him, guys. See if he'll bring something in for you. Even if it's just bread and cheese.
I think you must be an angel, Mrs. L. You know, it's strange how it is I've never seen you eat a pie.
And I like pies. I see them all the time. I see the meat being cut, the crust being made. I see the rats in the cellar and the dirt on the girls. Pies are best for those who don't know what goes in.
Mrs. L,
What is it, Rise?
do you know my mother?
All the girls around here knows with your mother. Hopes they don't make her acquaintance.
Mr. Todd says put a rope around her neck. Is she a bad person?
Mrs. Ragg provides a service, you might say, a service for girls who get themselves into trouble. For some people, those want with silver in their mouths. So the service she provides is a hanging offence. Todd won't harm unless his business is done.
Mr. Todd scares me, Mrs. L. I have nightmares. I dream that Mr. Todd sent me out, as he often does, to see the bells of Dunstons. And the figures on the clock all turn and look at me, and they're all skeletons. And they put their bony fingers to where their lips would be. And I runs back to the shop, but it's not a shop anymore. Where the chair was is a flaming pit. Joy to hell. And there's Mr. Todd, but it's not Mr. Todd, it's the devil. And it's throwing poor screaming souls into the flaming hole. And then I wakes up, and everything's all right. It's the smell of sweet smell of pies being made. But I can't forget the fear I have of Mr. Todd in that dream.
Listen, Tobias. Mr. Todd isn't perfect. He's got his faults like everyone else. But not no devil. He's a businessman, trying to do the best for himself in his cruel work. That's what we're all doing. Him, me, the girls here, you, everyone. Trying to do the best that we can. Some, our best is riches, big houses. For others, it's trying to stay alive with a roof over our heads and food in our mouths. It's a world where dogs eat dogs. I cut the road to world where you can't go on without cutting someone down. That's all Mr. Todd is doing. Trying to make his world better and cutting down those who get in his way. We won't cut you down, Tobias, nor Mr. Ralph. As long as you keep your eyes and mouth shut, you'll be safer at Mr. Todd's than anywhere else. Eyes and mouth shut. And I promise you that you'll be safe, Tobias. Mr. Todd won't harm you. Now we know. You're a grown boy. The clothes!
A word with you, sir.
I said the clothes!
I said I'd have a word with you. You're still working, I see, and I wonder at the sight of so much blood in an honest barber's shop.
I know you, sir. One of the Northern gents was in this area some days since.
You remember correctly, Mr. Todd.
Then, as a man who's seen the world, you will know that a surgeon barber does more than the shaving of faces. I pull his teeth, remove his buckshot, does what I can to repair the damage the man does to himself or others.
And what service have you been providing this evening, sir?
In your time for the marks, you have seen many a broken man who, without the fast cutting of a surgeon, is like to die. Here on land, the same is true. Poor unfortunate wretch, too much gin in his belly, sags up into the road, his leg crushed by the wheels of a passing carriage. What's to do with him? Leave him lying and watch the pain consume him? Wait for flesh to rot and gangrene to fester in the wound? What find 4 stout fellows to hold him down while I use the razor to remove the limb? Better an alive cripple who can beg on the streets than a painful death by an agonizing wound.
I recognize this picture. As you say, I've seen the same with sailors crushed from a storm-tossed boat, or wounded by the weapons of an unfriendly savage. But I'm surprised, Mr. Todd. In my experience of such things, the poor wretch would be so full of liquor so as to numb the pain that movement would be entirely impossible. Yet your one-legged bird seems to have flown away, taking with him his leg.
As I said, sir, even the best of surgeons cannot save everyone. The poor wretch died, and his companions were determined they should not prolong their stay here. Between the 2 of us, I believe they had some unlawful business and they wanted to keep quiet. As long as it pays for needs my efforts, I ask no questions. I cut, I clean, and I keep quiet. The sign of a good surgeon barber.
Anonymity to carry a corpse around.
I can only assume that he's a good Christian gentleman. Figured that the good corpse should hold its pieces together in preparation for the day of judgment when the old shall rise from the earth. To be a cripple in this life is misfortune. To be a cripple in the next, a tragedy.
Ah, Mr. Todd, the streets are full of the wicked and the fearful. And the leg, it must truly have been an extraordinary limb to have identified both its owner and his companion.
As I said, the good man should be buried with all his pieces together. I ask no questions.
I wonder your story, Mr. Todd. I believe that as a good, respectable citizen, I should inform the magistrate of what you have told me. Why, these gentlemen might be dangerous criminals who might yet be apprehended if we do not delay too long. You say you keep quiet, yet even you have a duty to share your story with those who would protect us.
I conceive you are not a man who is easily fooled. In truth, then, and at no small risk to myself, I should tell you there is an establishment nearby in which any man with coin in his pockets can, in exchange for that coin, leave certain urges he might have.
I'm aware of the establishment you speak of. I myself was on a fine selection of pies when I entered that self-same place.
Then, as a man in the tea world, you will know that the bakers in that place might sometimes find there is more in the ovens than they had bargained for. On that occasion, it's necessary to have someone on hand who can remove the extra burden with no questions asked.
And you are that person.
Indeed, it may not be the most lawful of activities. In fact, it's one if known as in certain quarters will tighten a noose around my neck. Yet think of the girls, sir. Is it not best to resolve the situation in as safe a manner as possible? There are some who would do the deed with little skill or compassion. No, I not soon erect enough in this world without bringing more into life. I have tonight been providing that service of which I speak, and you will understand that once the deed is done, neither I nor the unfortunate wretch wish to be seen in each other's company for fear of the law.
Mr. Todd, I cannot approve of what you have told me, but I do not judge the poor girls, nor do I condemn you. Rather, it is those who profit from this miserable business that should swing from the tree. But that is not my business here tonight.
'Tis a late hour for shame.
I have come for information regarding the whereabouts of my friend, Mr. Mark Industry. He has not been seen since he entered this establishment in your company.
My friend has not conveyed my message to you. Confound the boy, he will be well whipped.
The lads did indeed inform me that he departed here, anxious to see his lady love. But in truth, he never kept that appointment. It is damnably odd that no one has set eyes upon him since your offer of a shave. In truth, I have fears for his safety.
Indeed, there are many unsavory characters at large in this area.
Indeed. And if any of those characters knew of a certain item of value he had in his possession, then his life would have surely been at risk.
An item of value, you say?
An item of jewellery, a string of pearls intended for his beloved. If he has been harmed, I shall discover the truth. That it is a most individual trinket, easily recognised, and if any wretch tries to sell it, they shall be apprehended and dispatched. I intend to visit the magistrate this very night to acquaint him with the particulars of the case.
Damn this fellow will be the death of me.
inclination to remove my sword. Rather, I intend to keep my hand firmly on the hilt until I have the truth of this matter.
Very well, sir. I'm sorry I can give no service to you. Good evening, sir.
And a most good evening to you, sir.
Just trinkets, sir, things my customers have left behind. Being an honest businessman, I keep them safe against the return of their owners.
I believe that this hat belonged to the friend that I seek.
I told you that he left in a hurry, sir. If it be his, then I too hope for his safe discoveries that heads and hats can be reunited.
I neither like nor trust this man. He has the smell of fear about him. The fear of a man who is to end his days swinging from the gallows. Good evening, Mr. Todd. I shall discover the truth. Let there be no doubt about that.
Damnation!
I would rather stand, madam. I have been set upon by a ruffian and used most cruelly, but I bear this misfortune like all others with fortitude, believing that our misfortunes here will be changed to peace and happiness in a future world. Yea, verily, the acts of the wicked will call forth the wrath they deserve.
Amen to that.
I have been cruelly denied,
As you said, Dr. Lupin.
and most abused.
But denial, you say, is good for your soul.
It was the saving of soul that was denied to me. A young lady, a fine lady as I thought, who needed my administrations. She would have none of it, and I left unsatisfied in my intentions. Drawing yourself closer to me, sister.
Indeed, I am perfectly happy here, good sir. But if one of my girls could tempt you with a pie?
I want you to tempt me with your pie, dear sister. Tell me, when I have your pie and I uncover that, will I be impressed by the fattened calf I find therein?
Oh, Dr. Lupin.
Call me brother.
I believe, brother, that my pies are the most special that we have. Not your penny or tuppenny pies that satisfies most of our customers. Why, the pies, I say, for special callers and friends are the most sought after and come at a high price.
Mrs. Lovett, I intend to have your pie, and I intend to have the goodness of your heart. I yearn for the beauty of that pie and a deep longing for it stirs within my soul.
All pies have their price, sir.
Damn you, women! I intend to have what I please. Please let me give it to me.
Leave it in peace!
What's this? Attacked again? But not by a sword-wielding ruffian, but by a child. Well, boy, I've been hurt and humiliated enough today. But no, it's hurt and humiliated is you're going to me. I will not stop. This happy work up an appetite for all.
Stop, Lupin! Leave the boy. You shall have a pie if you so desire. I have it in the back room, hidden from view. You leave the boy alone.
Very wise, madam. Thank the Lord, boy, that has been intervened on your behalf. If you cross me again, I will not be so merciful. And the full vengeance of the Lord will come on to you.
Will you come into the other room with me, sir?
I will, Miss Lovett. And I'll bring my cane in case I'm not satisfied.
Tobias, go and tell Mr. Todd that I'm entertaining a very special customer. That we are baking together. Tell him who it is. And say that when we are finished, I will send him round. It would please me if he would give this gentleman one of his very special shapes. But Mrs. Go, Tobias, do as you're told! Come, Dr. Lupin. You will be satisfied, that I can promise you. Tonight will be like nothing you have ever dreamed of.
Clutches of that most unholy man. Yet I do
not be rich. I believe that the serpent so entranced you that you are not in command of your senses, when you forgot your obligations as a wife and a mother. I believe that you are that unwitting vessel that the evil creature commandeered to steer a course towards his lustful goal.
You sniveling, shriveled little wretch! You no more have dared to have those words escape from your mouth than you have dared to have them! It had not been for some ruffian defiling our house and refusing the message of war.
I would rather believe that the intruder was the instrument of the Lord against the foul corruption of that sinful man. But be that as it may, you will listen to me. I intend from this time forward to be master in my own house. If you and I are to live together, we must do so on very different terms to what we've been accustomed. And if you do not agree, then I will turn you out of the house. And you can look to your fine reverend friend to you out of the poorhouse and off the streets.
I am strong in my belief in the goodness of that holy man.
Then you can look to him for salvation. And if he does not give you what you desire, then I'm sure he will give you what you deserve. And as the saying goes, you have made your bed, and now you must sleep in it.
Yet, I must not allow my devotion to following the path of the righteous divert me from my sworn duty and obligation to my earthly family. I will renounce my claim to salvation until I am called unto the Lord. I shall give house and home to the undeserving, and devote the sad time left to me upon this corrupt earth, preparing my soul for that glorious time. Dear Dr. Lupin, my heart is with you. Amen.
Oh, Father, I wonder if you were not a bit unkind to my poor misguided mother.
Joanna, you have told me all that transpired and all that the gentleman visitor confided in you. I ask for forgiveness for my father's love led him to actions that might have denied his daughter the true happiness that she desires. But I will not stand idly by while others seek to compound your misery for their own gratification. If I cannot restore my industry to you, then I can at least save you from the grasping coils of this serpent from hell and his insidious familiar, which I'm obliged to call my wife.
In truth, dear Father, I despair of the news that Mr. Geoffrey might discover.
Indeed, he does discover the truth.
That prospect fills me with an even greater fear. To be ignorant of the fate of my love is a greater agony than to know of his demise.
Child, if the good Mr. Geoffrey cannot discover the fate of his friend, then we will not waver in our quest for the truth. Should he return empty-handed, then you and I will travel to Fleet Street and will not rest until the truth is laid bare.
Sweeney Todd is the spider at its core. It is the spider that I want, not the flies calling his friend. And I believe the best way to catch a spider is to feed it to the bird of justice. To wit, the local magistrate, a man who, notwithstanding his blank eyes, has a certain talent for seeing corruption in men. I believe the reason they call going up before the magistrate as being up before the beak, as it were, is a reference to the bird of justice dispatching the spider of iniquity.
Still here, sir? Why? I thought he was off to see the local magistrate.
As I am. I was just asking this fine young fellow if he had any information regarding the whereabouts of Mr. Mark in history. But he knows nothing. Like you, he knows nothing of his whereabouts after he departed from your establishment.
As I told you, sir. As I told you.
And keep doing so. Good evening, Mr. Todd.
Good evening to you. The devil take you both to the magistrate. Boys, come here! Mr. Todd, what have I told you? The fate of you and your dear mother relies on your silence. Yet once I seize, you talking with a man who for moments before has been in my establishment accusing me of goodness knows what. To the magistrate, he says. To the magistrate, I says, what little good it will do you? Cast the accusation against an innocent man
What are the other gentlemen? The one who's with the missing friend who's speaking with the magistrate?
Don't ask questions, boy. Do as I tell you. But I believe the matter will resolve itself between the three parties, to wit, magistrate, parson, and seafarer. Those jewels would be a great source of value to me, yet their weight drags me to my doom. I would not have such a pretty string choke the life out of me. Indeed, I believe I would rather forego their work to be tightened around another man's neck. And I know the very neck that I would see stretched by their beauty. Why, Dr. Lupin, you've been baking, I hear.
Indeed, Mr. Todd. The dough rose most pleasantly, and the fillings of a very savoury nature. The good Lord smiles down upon this unworthy servant, as not only did Mrs. Lovett grant these for others, she also requested that you should shave me in the same spirit of offering and repentance for your sins.
My lad told me something of the like. That is, when he could speak through the tears that flowed as a result of the injuries you had inflicted upon him.
Alas, I have full repentance I have to chastise a boy, but when wicked minds question the integrity of my actions, retribution is required. I see it as my duty to God to deal out with justice to those who transgress.
Why, Dr. Lupin, I believe you are the angel of vengeance so sorely needed at this present time. Nay, I believe you to be a saint. And it is my belief that you would take the whole weight of the world's sins upon your shoulders and save these wretches from eternal damnation. Nay, I believe that you will be rewarded beyond your expectations.
You're too kind, Mr. Todd.
And that kindness will be my downfall, or the defense against my foes.
A true child of the Lord.
Created from the same mold as yourself, sir. Ah, here comes the magistrate. With Mr. Grant and his guardians come to save our temporal selves. Good evening, sir. A trifle late to be abroad, is it not?
As you know, Mr. Todd, the wicked do not respect their own input.
Alas, the great deceiver never rests. The sinful darkness of night suits his needs better than the blessed cleansing light of day.
Reverend Lupin, I detect.
Servant to the Lord and all of his disciples.
Mr. Todd, I have been having a most interesting discussion with Mr. Jeffrey here.
I'm aware of the general course of that discussion. He's concerned for an acquaintance of his.
The magistrate is an undue interest in this case. A missing person goes by the name of Mark Inglestree, a name not unknown to him.
Sir Joshua was Mr. Inglestrie's guardian until they had a disagreement about his poison line.
But I like to understand that he has proved himself a most worthy person, both in character and in finance, and I am resolved to determine his fate.
Well, I honestly desire that you should find information that will shed light on this sad situation. However, I've already informed Mr. Jeffrey of all my knowledge regarding Mr. Inglestrie's whereabouts. I feel the noose tighten around my neck. My fate lies in the hands of a boy. Yet here he comes. My message was clear, I might yet escape. Ah, Mr. Jeffrey was inquiring about an item of value, a certain string of pearls that might lead to the whereabouts of Mr. Inglestree. I'm afraid I am unaware of any such item.
Then you shall not object, Mr. Todd, should the runner search your property.
I am an honest businessman with nothing to fear or hide.
Good sirs. A string of pearls, you said?
The very same.
Do you have any knowledge of the same, Mrs. Lovett?
Well, sir, a certain gentleman was anxious to partake of certain wares that can be purchased at my establishment.
We're all well aware of your business, Mrs. Lovett, so please.
Well, sir, the gentleman was anxious to acquire something for myself in person so as proof of his good intentions and of future prospects. He revealed to me a certain item of great value, to wit, a string of pearls.
And the name of this vagabond?
Well, sir, I am not sure.
Deny me this information, and it will go in for you, madam.
The gentleman is known to us, sir. In truth, he is very near. Kind, reverend sir, advise me, should I be damned if I say a name that could send a poor sinner to the gallows?
Name the rest.
Sir Magistrate, I believe that your men will find the missing jewels if they examine the contents of the pockets that belong to...
Do Miss Lovett, let the foul name escape your lips.
that belong to this dear, reverend gentleman.
Mr. Todd, it seems I have done you a disservice and doubted an innocent man.
I'm the innocent man, I swear it.
Swear not, but you deserve it.
And you will face the full majesty of the law. Away with him.
Get off me. Get off me. Get off!
Mrs. Tobias, I thank you from the depths of my heart.
Ow! What was that for?
Good measure, Tobias. Was for good measure.
Oh, Mark, if this sacrifice of my life would be to you relief, if it saved you from the pangs you suffer, believe me, it would be made.
Child, do not speak so despairing.
Have I not cause for despair?
Cause you have for great concern, but not yet for despair. We await the good Mr. Geoffrey, and I pray that he will bring news to raise you from your pit of despair.
Only the restoration to my bosom, Mark English, would have the desired effect.
Mr. Geoffrey, sir.
Good sir, have you received intelligence regarding the fate of my lover? I feel that you have, yet your face tells me that it is not which I desire. I am fearful of what I shall hear.
Dear lady, please be seated, and you shall hear all I have learned.
Well, Mr. Geoffrey?
The string of pearls that Mark Industry had about his person have been discovered.
I care not about the jewels. What of he who carried them?
There is no sign, but the wretch that held them has been arrested, and is to be tried for his life on a charge of murder most foul.
How I despise that string of pearls! Had I the fallen born heart that loved me, he would have out the fortune that would enable us to live in comfort. I should have been the most blessed creature in all God's kingdom. But now the heart, which was by far the most costly possession, lies buried in the grave. All aspirations are forever quenched, and this poor maid shall only live as long as for that grave to be discovered, so it may become a betrothal bed, and we be united for eternity.
Joanna!
Dear lady!
Lisbeth! Bring me check.
Miss, come, miss. Ha! And the child regrets the harm she has caused her family and herself. Her cruel treatment of the dear thief! Murderer! To self-stake down and celebrated my good kind gentleman. Here again, at the scene of the most foul crime, Captain Randall and his mischief and steal my daughter like he has already stolen the affections one showed me by 15.
Madam, your dear Dr. Lupin resides in Newgate, charged with the most foul murder of this child's lover, Mr. Mark Ingistry.
Is this true? Lupin arraigned?
He is called to the Old Bailey, and if convicted, shall answer with his life.
The man that you welcomed into our home, madam. You opened our house and opened your heart and have sacrificed our child to his demonic lust. Begone from my sight. Get thee to another way and repent your sins therein.
This is a damnable lie! Demonic forces are raised against the good apostle! I will not be murderer of men and take up the sword of justice on his behalf! I will not cease from mental fights, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem! Oh, Lupin!
Lisbeth, perhaps we'll fetch the smelling salts for dear Joanna. For though it will bring her to the brink of madness, we must rouse her and instruct her in all that we have learned this day.
And the mistress?
Perhaps we'll bring a jug of cold water. And if you fear to do the deed, then I'm sure the good Mr. Geoffrey will fight it in his heart.
I'm certain I can manage that task on my own, sir. For the love I bear to Miss Joanna, it would give me the greatest of pleasure, but not as great as when I join with Romulus in that evil parson, down between the heaven he spoke of and the hell where he is destined to burn.
A little shout.
him and condemn him to a life of everlasting torment.
Child, I too have a vested interest in the whereabouts of that person, but the night when I divulge no information, he still maintains an innocence of the crime and lays the blame at other doors.
Good sir, then you are condemned without proof.
We have the doors, that is enough the way to sway the scales of justice. Gentlemen, have you reached the verdict?
The prisoner in the dock before us stands accused of heinous crimes, most foul and brutal murder, the worst in recent times. He protests that he's not guilty, that another did the deed, but had jewels about his person. He did this deed through greed. We find the prisoner guilty. He's standing there condemned. We want him swinging shortly, and may his soul be damned.
Tie Brian, and may the Lord have mercy on your miserable soul.
Of all the tales was ever told, I now will one impart, that never fails to terror strike in every human heart. The deeds of Francis Lupin, who did on the gallows swing, his murderous deeds were brought to light and retribution bring. The wicked parson's dreadful deeds discover righteous wrath. Who can believe the killer foul would hide behind the cloth? They say this wretch was overfond of bodies firm and young, but not the sins of male desire was Parson Lupin hung. For taking of some valuable jewels, he slew a sailor bold, and hid the corpse
Are you sure, dear Miss, that you wish to be in this area? A place that's been the cause of so much distress.
I am a restless soul, Mr. Geoffrey, and I will continue in this vein until I discover what became of my love, or else die in that quest.
Then I shall be your constant companion, you who have lost so much.
It is true. I have lost my love. I have lost all joy that is to be found in the world. My mother has returned to her sister in the country and is lost to us. My father sits at home in deep despair, lost to those that love him. I fear without your constant friendship I should have lost my mind also.
Miss Oakley, that must never be. Tobias, what news, lad?
A fine speech, dear Mr. Todd. Is there truly a new, brighter world ahead?
The likes of us never seen a bright world. Saying darkness has plagued our lives since birth hangs over us to the end of days. We must tighten our belts, Mrs. L. Sometime we must restrict the supply of meat for your pies. Can't have the magistrate wondering why the death of that fool Lupin's had no effect on the brutality of this place. But time of calm, and then our business shall rise again. Now, if you'll excuse me, there are some conversations I would strangle at birth. Mr. Geoffrey, not referencing you in these parts again, with a young lady too.
Miss Oakley, this is Sweeney Todd.
We are here on unfinished business, Mr. Todd. I seek confirmation on the fate of my love.
As you wish. Take care, miss. Just because you've removed one rotten apple does not mean that the barrel's free from contagion.
Your meaning, sir?
This is still a dangerous area for respectable persons such as yourself. Come, boys, work be done.
But it's a holiday, Mr. Todd.
Come with me, boy. You know what's good for you.
I do not trust that, Mr. Todd.
We shall continue our examination of the people here. But I believe the key to what we seek lies with young Tobias Bragg. We shall speak with him again.
The times I told you, boy, keep your mouth shut. Yeah, what's I see? Every time I looked up and see you discussing with that man who'd have almost even destroyed the city hanging beside the Reverend Gentleman.
I said nothing, Mr. T.
I saw you with my own eyes, and I don't like it.
But you've nothing to fear, have you? Half dispatched, the jewels found. What makes you angry, Mr. Todd?
The missing body. Mr. Industry. Damn the fellow!
But you said...
I know what I said. What I said is the truth, but wasn't the same thing, do they?
You mean that you...
That's exactly what I mean.
But the other lady, she needs to be told.
She needs to be told nothing. He's wise from you. I'll make sure you never tell nothing to no one ever again, hear me? Ever again!
Mr. Todd, dear, Mr. Todd, leave the lad alone, sir. Promise to no harm before it.
Foolish promise is one that can't be kept.
Do you speak, Mr. T?
You can wait there in the dark, boy. We'll finish our business later. Well, madam, what is it you have to say to me?
Mr. T, dear Sweeney Todd, we've been partners in business for many moons now. But I feel something in my breast, a feeling that is new and unexpected. Can we not become partners in other ways, Mr. T? Can we not be partners in love with young Tobias as our child? Can we not put all this aside? This is no world for us.
You pox-ridden hack. You think I would give up all of this for you? This is my world, a world which I have created, a world where I am in control. You would have me dispense with my world, live like respectable people with their manners and etiquettes, ways things have to be done. I'd rather be dead. And young Tobias knows too much. Stoke the ovens, Mrs. L. I detect a fresh feel for our next batch of pies.
You foul creature, past redemption! I thought you were trying to better yourself and me too. I see you do what you do because you enjoy it. You're a man with no soul, Sweeney Todd. Beyond your redemption, and I will shout it to all who will listen!
Yes, I enjoys it. Killing and baking. Now you'll be in your own pies. Damn you! How will I explain this one? I'll need someone else to run shop. Mrs. Ragg, a fine irony. Sell the pies her son has made. Oh, Todd. You are a fine specimen. Fine specimen, truly!
Stop! Stop, you fiend! I shall take you before the magistrate!
Then come and get me! If you table next to the chair. A chair which can only be operated from above. So we attract him here, to lower the foul air we breathe.
You hound from hell!
If only you knew the whole of it. Here in my cellar, I use my razor to butcher the flesh of those who fell by chairs of dismal pit. Their bones, for the most part, lie in cryptic substance, the source of that foul smell which has so recently been remarked upon.
And the flesh?
Mrs. Lovett always did make the most particular of pies.
Why, you fiend?
Business, sir, among other interests. Children on the streets relieving the pockets of passing gents. Ladies in the pie shop relieving them in other ways. The price of meat was damaging my profits, so a business decision was required.
And the Reverend Lupin.
The old hypocrite deserved to die. Humiliations he inflicted on Mrs. Lovett's girls filled me with disgust. And yet to die is something he did not do. The law likes blood, miss. It's no better than any of us.
You would have killed my love for business.
For the value of the pearls, which I had to forego, yet business is a strange thing. It takes over your mind. Why, miss, I found when I first started this particular line of business, I really quite enjoyed it.
You devil!
Not pearls, sir. Rich red rubies. Mark!
Hang the law! I desire justice!
Tobias! Have you quite finished?
I so love them pies, sir. Who knows what I have eaten?
Thank the Lord, Tobias, that no one ate you.
But we are still stuck in this hellish chamber. Beg pardon, miss, but Mr. Todd forgot to lock the door when I ran down it. The way to his shop is open to all Christian souls. And all those who leave this cellar today can glory in that name. Good Christian souls, one and all.
Redeem a land and get to my drift. Maybe when I'm next in port,